Hola, mis students. Welcome to your Spanish class. No, just kidding. Welcome to math. Today, as you can see on the screen, is your last one, lesson 120 on multiplying mixed numbers. With MCA tests being canceled, I know you're disappointed in not having to take those tests. I'm not sure what's going to happen if we go into the sixth grade book this year or not. If we don't get to the sixth grade book like I originally hoped we would, then you'll just do that next year with Miss Arver. So today's lesson on multiplying mixed numbers is just basically two steps. The first step is something we learned a few lessons ago on changing a mixed number to an improper fraction. And then after you change it from mixed numbers to an improper fraction, then you just multiply them. So just keep it simple. So again, reviewing the steps for reviewing the steps for changing a mixed number to an improper fraction. First step is you multiply the whole number and the denominator. So in this case, we had 2.5. We multiply that 2 times the 2, and we get 4. So that's the first step. Multiply the denominator times the whole number, and then you add the numerator, which is 5. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. We get the 5 down here. The denominator does not change the same, so we still have the 2. So the new fraction we end up there is 1/2. Then we do the same thing with this fraction over here, 1 2/3. 1 times 3 is 1. We add the 2, and we get 5. So we have 5 down here, and the denominator does not change. So we end up with 3. So once we have changed them both to improper fractions, then you just multiply fractions. And we talked about multiplying fractions. Again, keep it simple. All you're doing when you're multiplying fractions is you take your numerators, multiply them. 5 times 5 is 25. 2 times 3 is 6. And we end up with an improper fraction in this case. We don't like improper fractions. We need to fix improper fractions. We fix improper fractions by changing them to a mixed number. So a quick review. How many times does 6 go into 25? Goes in there 4 times. With how many left over? 1 left over. So we'd write that as 4 and 1 6. So a review of what we've already done. So again, 3 steps to multiplying mixed numbers. First step, change the mixed number to an improper fraction. Then you multiply the improper fractions, and then you reduce or simplify as needed. So let's look at a couple examples here. So here we have 1/5. Well, we don't need to do anything with 1/5. It's already a fraction that we can multiply. So that is why we kept 1/5 as the same. Don't need to do anything with it. Makes life simple. Now we have 4 and 1/2. We need to change that to an improper fraction. First step, multiply your denominator and your whole number, which I did here. I multiplied 2 times 4. I have 8. Then I add the 1. Boom, that gets me to that 9 there. Denominator stays the same, so that 2 just comes over there. So now we have 9 over 2. So 1/5 times 9 seconds. Sure. And just multiply. 1 times 9, 9. 5 times 2, 10. Beautiful. We don't have to simplify or reduce. It's already done for us. It's already done. 9 and 10, there's nothing we can divide them both by. We don't have an improper fraction, so we're golden. So then example number 2 here. 3, again, we have to multiply fractions. And we need to keep 3 as a fraction. And how do we keep 3 as a fraction without changing its value at all? This is something that we've talked about. We put that 1 under it. We put that 1 under it, we're still keeping the same value, because what is 3 divided by 1? 4. Yep, I know it's 3 divided by 1 is 4. No, you got me again. We are looking at 3 over 1 is equal to 3. So we don't need to do anything. Once we have that fraction. Now we need to change 2 and 1/3 to an improper fraction. So again, first step, we take our denominator times our whole number. 3 times 2, which we know is 6. Then we have to add that numerator, 1. So now we have 7 over 3. Now we can do our multiplication of fractions. We have 3 over 1 times 7 over 3. So we have 3 times 7 gets us 21. 1 times 3 is 3. Now we have one of those improper fractions. We need to fix that. Hopefully you remember how to fix that. How many times will 3 go into 21? 7. Do we have any left over? Nope. If we don't have any left over, then we just leave it as a whole number. So 3 times 2 1/3 equals 7. And one last example. In this case, I have two mixed numbers we're multiplying together. 2 3/5 times 3 1/4. We need to change them both in order to do this. So again, remember our steps to say changing a mixed number to an improper fraction. 5 times 2, which we have right here. 5 times 2 is 10. Add 3, we get the 13 here. And over 5, denominator doesn't change. Then the next one, 4 times 3, 12. Add that 1, gets us to 13 over 4. Now we do some multiplication. 13 times 13, which you see I did here, equals 169. 5 times 4 equals 20. Wow, we got a big improper fraction here. We need to fix that. So I didn't show you the calculations on this page, but I was able to figure out that 20 goes into 169 8 times. We have the 9 left over, and 20 is my denominator because that denominator does not change. So again, reviewing real quickly, to multiply mixed numbers, first step, change them to improper fractions. So to do that, take your denominator times your whole number, add your numerator. The denominator stays the same. Once you have them changed to improper fractions, you just multiply. Multiply your numerators, multiply your denominators, and then you have an answer. But you might have to reduce, so be careful. Whether it's reducing that improper fraction to a mixed number, or just sometimes you might not have to reduce at all. So just pay attention to that. Don't forget to reduce. And again, show your work. This is really hard to do in your head without showing your work. So I will post some other videos related to your journals once in a while. But as far as lessons go, this is your last math lesson. And this is not how I wanted to end the year with your math lesson, but I'll have other videos as we go on, kind of talking about your end of the year exam and some other things coming up. So thank you for watching these videos. And again, as I said in other videos, I miss you so much. I wish we were in the classroom together, but it just wasn't meant to be. So I miss you all so much. And as I've said before, bye.